So I had a huge problem with squirrels pinching my nuts. Do you know what the answer was in the end?
Stop rubbing your nuts with nuts.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that and looser trousers.
Looser trousers?
You're listening to the Beat Motel Podcast, and we need to warn you that we like to use words like fuck, shit, and syndicalist, boxy scrutux, angry flap, and filth biscuits. And we don't often bleep those words out, apart from because we're not complete animals. But if you understand that and you like music, then listen on.
What is this machine?
It's called a Soda Stream.
But why would
It's not
you
fizzy
would, if you didn't want the squirrels to pinch your nuts, why would you wear looser trousers? Because then the squirrels can get in the trousers.
Just remember, I need to change the canister. Any better? Not really. I'll have to do. Yeah, the squirrels. The squirrels kept pinching the nuts.
But then why are you wearing baggy trousers?
I can't get the grip. I can't get the purchase. You know,
Surely they're just digging into your leg.
Well, the problem is if you go too baggy, the squirrels just go up the trouser leg. And then you've got all kinds of other problems. No, so the answer was Emma bought a squirrel feeder, which is like,
Can you put it down your trousers?
and they say you can, everyone's got a book in them, and I say you can tell because makes some people limp. Everyone's got the capacity to store a squirrel feeder in their trousers. So this is so stupid. Right, let's go for your riff of the week. It's this one. It's a good start. I thought strong start. I've got some of the shittest podcast producer facts about this song, but who is that?
Roy Orbison with All I Can Do Is Dream of You, and it was produced by Jeff Lynne.
Oh, War of the Worlds fame.
Famously of ELO and War of the Worlds fame.
What year was it then?
Like late 80s.
Oh, really? Doesn't sound like 80s
it was released
at all.
after Roy Orbison died. It was the last album.
That must have made touring harder.
Yeah. It's a bit was that Weekend at Ernie's. Weekend at Bernie's style.
Just prop him up, or like in Brass Eye, just as.
Yeah.
You seen that?
Yeah. Ages ago. But yeah, I don't know. I wanted to listen to Roy Orbison, and I decided to look up. And this apparently was a late blossoming of Roy's, and I like the production of it. It's very layered production, very Jeff Lynne-ish production. Lots of things going on.
Yeah, the bass was really amazing. It really sort of throbs in.
Yeah, I mean, in a way, I would criticise it for sounding a bit too dry and a bit too like, but it also reminded me of sort of late era replacements as well.
Yeah, I can absolutely see that. It is literally the same time as late era replacements, isn't it? I've always been kind of fascinated by Roy Orbison.
I would love to hear. Oh yeah.
I've got no follow-up words. just that.
What AI facts have you got?
Well, apparently his mysterious goth look wasn't a choice. It was because when he was on tour with the Beatles in 1963, he accidentally left his fancy thin glasses at home. So had to wear his thick prescription glasses. And it says here he never took them off for the next 25 years. Now, as a glasses wearer, I can say they must have been filthy. How did he sleep? Well, uncomfortably, going, ow, why every time do I roll over does my face hurt?
Yeah.
So there's fact number one. The next one, I'm just going to read this verbatim because it made me frown when I read it. Roy was a massive fan of high-end gadgets and radio-controlled cars. He once spent an entire afternoon in a park obsessively racing a remote-controlled car against a group of bewildered 10-year-olds, treating it with the competitive intensity of a Formula One driver. I mean, what? It's just like, that's got to be a hallucination, surely. That's got to be a... How would that even come up? Like, would he mention it in an interview or something? Is there footage?
Well, yeah, it doesn't give you a year. It doesn't give you a source, does it?
Of course not. Of course not.
So there's no way to verify this apart from actually doing some hard work, which neither of us are going to do.
Well, we got a brilliant comment on Instagram yesterday. Someone said, I just love ill-informed and zero research podcasts. So I just replied, brilliant. You've come to the right place. Still don't think, like, people think we have like production values or something.
No. Again, it goes back to that thing. If anybody wants to pay us, we'll give it some effort. Until that point, it's just two idiots talking about things they like.
What do you think people would? What sort of potential do you think people would see in us to actually give us money? Who do you think? If someone's watching this, what do you think their end game is? They're thinking, I can monetize this because there must be something or other. Or do you think it'd be like Wayne's World where we'd have to start doing adverts for stuff?
I think we start doing adverts for stuff, yeah.
What sort of things would you like to be endorsed by? Anusol?
No, useful things. I don't have that issue.
I don't, but it is useful if you got it.
I like to be sponsored by Japanese denim brands. Some Trickers boots would be nice. Gibson guitars, you know.
Gibson guitars would be quite handy.
You know, orange amps. That'd be nice.
All good stuff. There is actually quite a lot of evidence for Roy Orbison's remote control obsession. Most poignant proof is that on the day he died, he'd spent the afternoon flying remote controlled airplanes. And he spent the morning, this does not sound real. He spent the morning at a hobby shop buying balsa wood and parts for his next build.
How did he die then?
I don't know how Roy Orbison died. It's also mentioned a lot in his son wrote an autobiography. And apparently the RC community in America is really tight-knit. And lots of people on forums talking about all the time they spent with Roy Orbison. Yeah, but how did he die? How did he die? This is a new low, I think, isn't it? People have got used to us searching for stuff.
Roy Orbison die.
Oh, bloody hell. Oh, shit. This just chilled me to the bone. Fuck. Massive heart attack.
Oh.
Do you want to have a guess how old he was? Now, this is a real surprise to me because he's, in my mind, he started his career in the early 50s, maybe late 50s.
So he would have been like 50? 60?
That's horribly accurate of you. I assumed he'd be like 80 something. No, he's 52.
No, but it's that crazy thing of like you see this sort of rock and roll stuff. You know, like I was listening to a great podcast, BBC podcast, "You're Dead to Me," which I don't know why isn't more of a radio show, but I think it is.
They're actually
radio, but it's brilliant.
That's getting pushed on heavy rotation on Six Music now, and I was like, damn! Every time the advert comes, I'm like, damn straight.
And they had the guy recently on it pointed out, you know, the Beatles broke up when they were 30, and they had been together. You know, they've been playing together since they were kids, and so you have this thing of like, you see them you sort of have this idea of like, oh yeah, they you know, they were sort of like old by the time they split up, and actually they were just in their 30s.
Yeah.
So a lot of the time, it is surprising how young those people were up until, you know, like, oh, I just assume they're, you know, like it's sort of a bit, there's a weird time fog around how old people are, particularly the length of time between the beginning of rock and roll and around the 80s, where there was a comeback of sorts by a lot of those original rock and rollers. Yeah, it's a weird sort of time dilation.
There's less time between that mid to late 80s rock and roll comeback and rock and roll actually happening than there is between Blur's Park Life coming out and now.
Oh God.
But as a 50-year-old or very nearly 50-year-old, I do get alarmed when I see that famous people die of like heart attacks at 52. But there's a lot of mitigating factors. The biggest thing is diet. Diet's so different now. A really good friend of mine, I wish to get too kind of serious. He had a history of heart disease and young death, and he had his well man checkup that we get here, the NHS one, and he said he was really worried about it, and they basically went, don't. He said, diet is so much better. You have to bear in mind that our grandparents' generation grew up eating dripping sandwiches and, salt on absolutely everything, whereas we're actually considerably better. I mean, I don't look as old as I am, I don't think. I think I look quite young. I always look old on Beat Motel because we always record in the mornings. And I am not a morning person. If you see me early evening with the dappled, gentle sunlight, I'm quite radiant.
Oh, I just spend the entire time looking at the reflection of the light on my head.
Do you not put on any of the Beat Motel foundation powder that I sent you?
No, I should. I'll start and let's find out. Beat Motel foundation powder in your really cheap knockoff cosmetic shops near you now.
In knockoff Chesmot. Okay, I've failed that advert already. I can't say cosmetic. Chesmotic. Yes. Also, he just worked and worked and worked and worked apparently, and just didn't stop.
I think there must that touring lifestyle is not good for you. You don't get a kitchen, you don't get a choose your diet. All these sort of things. I know nowadays, apparently Metallica have a vegan chef that flies around with them because it's the only way that they can stay healthy on tour.
Louise Wenner in her book said that when Sleeper toured with Blur, and this is a tour I saw them on. I sat next to Louise Wenner when I was a young narfler at the Corn Exchange in Ipswich, and she's saying that Blur had their own chef with them because they'd kind of hit the big time by then. Part Life had come out and whatever. But they wouldn't let Sleeper eat any of the food. So one night, a member of Sleeper broke into the catering van and stole all the cheese, which apparently made Alex James very cross. But they did say later on they got to a weird condition where they'd had 3 platinum albums and made no money, Sleeper, because they just had the shittest record deal. But the record company would try and placate them by trying to make them feel like rock stars. So they said one of the tours they did towards the end, they had their own chef. And you talk about kind of Metallica doing it to eat healthy. They had a full Christmas dinner with all the trimmings every single day on tour because they're if you've got your own chef, I can just about manage it once a year. We don't really do the big turkey and whatever. We had venison casserole on Christmas Day.
I would like. I would say sushi chef, but then I think I'd be sick of the fish by the end of it. I think I'd like a good Sichuanese chef, good Chinese chef.
That would be good, but again, it's if
a lot of variety in their food, so I like it.
But if it's not done well, the second you're over full, we went to an all-you-can-eat Chinese buffet on Friday night.
That's not going to be good, though, is it?
No, I thought buffet, it would be like...
buffets are a thing here in Finland. I do not get it.
I fucking hate it. Why would you want to go and eat food that's been sat under some lukewarm light bulb? The worst, like Carveries in the UK, they can fuck off. It's like school dinners.
Why did you ruin illusions? It's not...
It wasn't a buffet. It wasn't that type of buffet. I have no idea why it said buffet. It's all cooked to order.
They'll let you in China now.
Well, it's what? For one thing, it's all cooked to order. And the way it works, it's basically 30 quid a head, and you order as much as you want off the menu. As much as you want. But the genius thing is they're not like full plates. They all come through like side plates, which is it's probably a few times I've had Chinese without actually feeling horribly uncomfortable afterwards, which is my own fault for gorging. But it was all light. It wasn't, sometimes Chinese in the UK can be really gelatinous or salty or have that weird MSG thing that enhances the smell of your piss the next day. It wasn't like that at all. You still thinking about what food you'd have? I think I'd in reality,
Chinese in the UK is so hit and miss, much better than it was, 30 years ago. But yeah, so hit and miss.
Yeah, the one I worked at when I was a teenager was really, really good. It wasn't greasy or salty, and used to attract the likes of Bob Holness. I've told the story before. So, do you mean who? You don't know who Bob Holness is? I guess you might not, being an expat kid. He was the first person to play James Bond on a radio play, penned by obviously Ian Fleming.
I don't care about James Bond either.
So Ian Fleming, Bob Holness in this country, he was famous mostly for being the host of a quiz show called Blockbusters. No, actually, that's
great
MacGyver.
Content. This
It's great content. But he was, just in case I haven't told it on the podcast, I was washing up in the Chinese, as was the style at the time, and I came out, and a friend's dad was an autograph collector. Signature collector, either. And I said, look, can I have your autograph? And got him to sign something or other. And his agent was next to him. They're obviously like having a night out. This is like a tiny little village in the middle of Suffolk. God knows why he was there. And she said, do you mind if I ask how you know who Bob Holness is? Because obviously I was a young 14, 15-year-old. And at the time, he'd appeared on The Word, which is the late... Look back at The Word now, and you're like, how was that ever aired on TV? Different times. And he went on, and they dressed him up as a crusty, was what they called it. And I said, I wasn't going to say blockbuster. So I was like, I saw him as a crusty on The Word. And his agent nudged him and went, see, I told you that was worth doing. I was like, what? For that payoff? For a 15-year-old at a Chinese restaurant to ask for an autograph?
It's like, it's about, I guess it's like, so you're getting out there, you're getting resonance with a new audience.
Look at the optics. The optics are good.
You'll be back playing James Bond and fun and having inappropriate relationships with, quite rapey relationships with women in no time. That's the James Bond relationship thing, isn't it?
Oh, yeah. Robert Plant's on tour at the moment in America.
Playing James Bond.
Playing James Bond. And I hope he's got a nice... the first time I had sushi, like proper sushi, it really confused me because it's room temperature. Which I know it's supposed to. I'd only ever had sushi from a supermarket or like... the shop on Liverpool Street Station. Of course, it's always chilled. So I had warm sushi. I was like, this is wrong. It's very nice, though. Should we move on to my riff of the week?
Yeah.
Let's do that. It's this one. Might surprise you, might not.
How'd you do? I see you've met my faithful hand-in-hand. He's just a little brought down because when you knocked, he thought you were the candy man. Don't get strung up by the way I look. Don't judge a book by its cover. I'm not much of a man by the light of day, but by night I'm one hell of a lover. I'm just a sweet trans...
Do you know that?
Yeah, of course. Rocky Horror Show.
Now, I'd never seen it. I'd never seen Rocky Horror Picture Show.
Really?
Yeah, and on Friday, the original touring, the original company, the original production is still touring. It was playing at the Regent in Ipswich, which is East Anglia's largest seated venue, 1,500 capacity, which is still quite small. Anyway, so I wasn't going to go. It was going to be a bunch of other people. One person dropped out, so I got asked at the last minute if I wanted to go, and I was like, can't stand musicals. Just really not a fan. And I know other people like them, but no.
Well, even like the Willy Wonka, the Charlie and the Chocolate Factory.
No, I was quite looking forward to seeing...
But you like War of the Worlds, that's a musical.
Is it a musical? Is it though? Or is it a concept album?
By
or
Jeff
is it just
Lynne.
prog? By Jeff Lynne.
Yeah.
Anyway, I was shocked and surprised. I think part of the shock might be because I had my 14-year-old son with me, and there were some bits in the performance that were a lot livelier than I was expecting.
Oh.
not so much more of a single entendre than a double entendre. They did this brilliant thing where obviously loads of people. It's really strange going because you go and there's loads of people in stockings and suspenders. So all these like middle-aged men, or probably older than me, wearing like shooting jackets and stockings and suspenders. Which I knew that about Rocky Horror, but I didn't. The shooting jacket, it just seemed like a really odd combo. It makes sense now that I've actually seen it. But they did a really cool thing where there was two people in the audience who were heckling the whole way through, which sounds awful, but it's clearly scripted and a part of it. And they had a narrator who I thought was Sandy Toksvig when they came out, but it wasn't. But there was a sex scene. There was 2 sex scenes. I've not seen the film, so I don't know if they're in the film or not. But it was, yeah, it was a lot. It was a lot. It was a lot. And very, very funny, and lots of topical stuff in it. But the music's great. There's only a couple of songs I thought were kind of a bit, but just the most over the top. Doesn't make a lick of sense. Emma said it's like a fever dream. You have to sort of just relax your brain and go with it.
Yeah, I mean, I've enjoyed. I've seen it once or twice. I had a friend who was really into it, and it never sort of was. I never thought it was amazing, but I thought it was quite a lot of fun. And Tim Curry is great in the film, and Meatloaf. I don't know because I knew, because I saw it after Meatloaf had his big his big bat stuff going on.
His big bat stuff.
And I never really liked that stuff. So when I saw him in that film, I just thought it's just a bit. I don't know. He's just. I never got the Meatloaf thing.
Meatloaf, nor did I. I think he must have been a nice person. I don't know what I'm basing that on. That's who they replaced Gary Glitter with Meatloaf in the Spice Girls movie. He plays a bus driver. But Meatloaf was always from musical theatre. He wasn't really a rock star at all. He never even sort of tried to be. So I don't really understand it either. But yeah, that was quite a surprise. If anyone watching or listening to this hasn't seen Rocky Horror, it's worth a go. And the ending.
But perhaps don't take your teenager.
Friend just leant over at one point. There's Frankenfurter's in bed with Janet, and she's like, "Oh no, don't!" And he goes and he just hits like noise, and just go, "Whoa!" That does the same for Brad, and then comes back up and he's picking hairs out of his mouth. It's just like, fucking hell. A friend leant over and said, "I hope this doesn't cost you too much in your child's therapy." They were much younger children, and I say it's not like pantomimes are very deliberately kind of kids just would not get the references. They weren't so much references as explanations, but it was a hoot. It was quite good. The reaction of the audience was quite fun. A lot of people were dancing. A lot of people get up and dance.
They do show the film on a regular basis in the art house cinemas, and people have like sing along evenings and dress up evenings and all these sort of things. Yeah,
I can definitely see that.
I don't quite get why it's such a phenomenon. It is, but fair play if you're into it, and you're willing to.
At the Regent, they have boxes, and it used to be. So I don't know, one point behind me, they're tiny little rooms, and they just have 4 like kitchen chairs in them. And it used to be if you bought 4 tickets at once, you could have a box if you got in early enough. They're a lot more expensive now, and there were some girls, I guess, in their 20s in this box, and they were having like. By the end of it, they were having a full-on. It sounded like they're having an emotional breakdown. They were like so overwhelmed by what was going on. Like everyone in the audience was just sort of actually concerned, and they were just sort of wailing. But I think they were just really, really absorbed by it. And I was a little bit like, I don't know what that connection is. Do you know what I mean? You say it's cool, but I don't know why people rave about it so much. And that's not to be down on it at all. I mean, I'm just missing whatever that thing is. Right, we are almost halfway through, and we haven't revealed.
Is this because it's a bit of a thin topic, or is it because of my choices?
This one is a thin topic. Do you think? So, do you want to reveal the topic, Dr. Sam?
No, you do it because it's your choice.
You've made this bed full of shit. You lie. I nearly said that word again. The theme is, well, put it this way: 3rd of February. We're recording this because we're actually ahead for once in the schedule. So the theme is autumn.
Why?
Because it's nice to have something to look forward to, and I think autumn's probably in my top 3 favourite seasons.
It's the worst point of Finland.
What, worse than winter?
Oh God, yeah.
Really? Why is autumn worse than winter in Finland?
Because you don't know. Like when winter hits, when winter properly hits, it's beautiful and white and easy. And today is the 4th, 5th day of a blue sky, and it's beautiful. The sun's shining, and it's blasted cold outside, but it's beautiful. Whereas I think it was probably between September and December last year, it was just fucking grey and wet. And fine. Oh, look at the leaves. Oh, the leaves are beautiful, yeah. And look at the sky. Oh, it's a low grey cloud. What's it going to be tomorrow? It's a low grey cloud. What's it going to be tomorrow? It's a low grey cloud. How warm is it going to be? Is it between 5 degrees and 2 degrees? And is it going to rain? Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
It was shit. Last autumn was shit in Finland.
So here's your first choice to sum up how you feel about autumn.
Falling leaves drift by the window. The autumn leaves of red and gold. I see your lips, the summer kisses, the sunburned hands I used to hold.
It's like Valium or something, that song. It's been like really angry and get played that. You're like, I haven't got it in me anymore.
I mean, yeah, I find myself as I get older having a lot more time for like crooners and stuff, and I feel sorry sometimes for the legacies of Nat King Cole and Louis Armstrong, particularly because by some like standards, people sort of thought they sold out because they stopped playing like pure jazz of the time and stuff like this. Nat King Cole was a jazz pianist and known for that, and Louis Armstrong was obviously an incredibly important pioneer of jazz, New Orleans jazz, and then they sort of get known for their, sometimes just for their crooning or for their sort of lyrical stuff, and their jazz stuff is forgotten. But come on, that's just like silk. It's just, the man's voice is incredible.
Love to be able to sing like that. And Nat King Cole, it took me when I was a really little kid, I thought Nat King Cole and Old King Cole were the same person, which really confused me at Christmas time. He was quite. The thing that interests me about jazz at that time is, was there a circuit as such, or was it literally just people? Was there I know there was a scene because there's lots of people playing jazz, but like we've got the rock circuit here, like the university circuit where indie bands tour. Was there staples like? Because it strikes me as that they were just out there being the first people ever really to be actually famous for music.
Well, that's rubbish.
I heard Mozart was fairly well known.
Yeah, you had Mozart and that Beethoven chap, and
they never went on tour though, because they didn't have to worry about having a chef or Robert Plant.
But some of them did go on tour. But you would want to play Paris. You would want to do productions in Paris and stuff, because that was the center of European culture. And if your music got there, it could get anywhere. New York. But no, there were jazz clubs. They were established, music clubs, and there was vaudeville. That's how a lot of it theatres. That's how a lot of it got played. And the big band stuff, they had a circuit, touring circuits. But there's a difference between those big band clubs and those official clubs, and the jazz clubs where the three-piece and the small pieces, small jazz groups were developed. Very different from those big band. But all those musicians that first established like the bebop and hard bop stuff, they all played in those swing bands originally.
Proper musicians, real musicians.
And and it's what they did afterwards. After hours, they would play these big, concerts and stuff. And as far as I understood, they would then go off and like play until the wee hours of the morning, just doing what they wanted.
That was a beautiful first choice for autumn, and my first choice is not. It's not a bad solo, really, is it?
I never thought it'd be the day that you chose a Guns N' Roses song.
It's the topic of autumn is quite a difficult one to find lots of songs about. So that was obviously November Rain by Buns and Toasties, and and one of the things I forgot is just how weird the video is. For that bit on the solo, there's that lad from Stoke-on-Trent, what's he called? Slash. It's one of the few times you see his face because he's stood in front of a church in the Dust Bowl, I guess somewhere in America, and there's obviously a helicopter long before drones. And as it takes off, it blows all his hair back and he's got a fag in his mouth. And as you can see, like as the helicopter goes up, he's absolutely engulfed in this massive cloud of dust. He must have been right mucky afterwards.
Oh, I think he would have probably been finding sand up his crap for days afterwards.
But yeah, that's my thinly. I think November's autumn, isn't it? It's not really winter. Winter starting December.
Yeah, I have a real weak spot. I think I grew up on a very sweet photo of, must have been 9-10 years old, my brother in a Use Your Illusion 1 t-shirt and me in a Use Your Illusion 2 t-shirt.
That's so cute. I saw a woman a couple of years ago in Ipswich, where my child used to have swimming lessons, and had identical twin boys who were maybe 3, 4, and they had Dr. Zeus hoodies on.
Oh, thing 1 and thing 2.
Yeah, just one said thing 1 and the other one said thing 2, and I just thought that's so brilliant. You've got to find some solace if you've accidentally had 2 children instead of 1 at a time. Right, I'm going to play your next choice now. I'm far too amused. I think I've realised what you've done with your choices here, just as I looked at them. I made what I thought was a clever little note to mention later on, then just looked and went, fuck it out. Right. Did we actually tell people what your first choice was, the Nat King Cole song? We didn't actually say what it was called, did we?
Autumn Leaves.
Autumn Leaves.
And this one is by Cannonball Adderley, and it's another version of Autumn Leaves. Do you realise that there's a composition called Autumn Leaves, which is a jazz standard?
No, I've never understood what a jazz standard is. Is it like how all cover bands play Mustang Silly? So what's it mean if it's a standard?
Yeah, that sort of thing. Yeah. Jazz standard is one of those ones that is just the book has just been played, so many times. It is just like you should be able. I think there's a broad idea that you should be able to sit down with a band and just play it.
Which you probably could do with like Paradise City by Guns N' Roses or Enter Sandman by Metallica.
Yeah. Or, there's rock standards, I guess, yeah, but, these are much more loose and people have their own interpretations of it. I really like the intro of Cannibal Adderley's one. I think it's really actually quite cool and funky and a bit more, and quite, it brings it from the Nat King Cole suburbs, and crooning and like maybe a bit LA-ish into like New York, into jazz, into like the sort of smoking 40s 50s New York jazz territory. I always thought there's something of particularly of the 50s jazz, or like bebop, hard bop. You can sort of seems a reflection of ideas of New York, but I think it's very hard to know where that what came first, the music or the imagery around that music. I just think I really like the intro to that version. It's really cool.
I'm thoroughly enjoying it. I can't believe I prepped all these songs last night and didn't see what you've done. Have you read
it? Did you only listen to 30 seconds of them and it just went on?
It's largely what I do because I don't want to like absorb it. The whole thing is to try and want to have something to discuss.
Yeah.
It probably would be better if I did actually listen to the whole thing. I haven't got time for that shit. If I like it, I might listen to it after.
Research, bitch.
Yeah, right. Do you want to know why he got the name Cannibal Adderley?
Go on.
Well, it wasn't actually Cannonball. He changed it slightly. His nickname at high school was Cannibal.
Cannibal.
And apparently it's because he had a big appetite. He could eat people under the table. I always thought that was an odd phrase. Eat people.
Eat people under the table. Well, you wouldn't want to see someone being eaten over the table, so fair enough.
Now, Rocky Horror wasn't quite that graphic, but right. So that was lovely. Here's my next choice.
What does that say? What would your mother do?
It says, what would Mafro do? I mean, this is a very in joke. If you don't know who Mafro, it's really reflective though, so you can't really see it.
No, don't think it's working. And it's not coming through on the podcast, the audio. I can see it now. Yeah.
Yeah. What would Mafro do? I have all these little pieces of metal underneath my desk, and if I have something that I really want to remember, I get it engraved on a piece of metal. I've got them on the wall as well, as like a sort of like a really kinesthetic kind of thing. And Mafro's bought a laser engraver because he makes knives now. So I asked him if he could kindly make me a new little plate, and he did. And when I opened the envelope, the first one that came out was that. It just says, "What would Mafro do?" So I've got it on my desk. Anyway, do you know who my choice was?
The Beatles.
No.
No, Sam. No, that's wrong.
Come on, don't do that to me.
What's wrong with that?
I don't know if you care about this band or not. You do
Kinks,
not believe.
they're fucking incredible. Yeah.
Yeah, I was going to say, don't.
Come on.
Don't do me like that. Can you guess why I chose that song?
It sounded very close to an Oasis song you particularly like.
That's exactly what I chose. I've always liked it, and it sort of almost informs a bit about the way I feel about. Oh no, it doesn't. That's a real stretch. That is. It's a cool song though. I do like that era of Kinks. It's just before they started to go full on. Well, pantomime, but also full on great. So that's from the album Something Else by the Kinks, which predates Arthur and the Rise and Fall of the British Empire and the Village Green Preservation Society, which are just both absolute pinnacle albums. They call it the Imperial phase, is it? Imperial period, when musicians just go ping and they just hit hit their most excellent period. No one bought either album. They did really, really badly. It could almost be a Beat Motel theme. Albums that, we might have done this already. Albums that didn't sell but influenced, but were influential. Should we do that?
Sure.
Yeah, let's do that for next episode. Albums that didn't sell but were
actually talk about.
Well, it's a bit. I'm looking at the inattentive timer here, and I'm thinking, bloody hell, we've still got another 20 minutes to try and talk about this non-topic.
What do you like about autumn, then? How does it make you feel in your? Is this when the squirrels run up your trousers?
Good callback. I like autumn, but I stopped enjoying kicking through the leaves at a certain point in my. What do you call the first 10 years of your life? Your zeros. I stopped enjoying that when I kicked a massive dog shit. That'll put you off. It's not as bad as the time I was rolling down the motte of Fram Castle and rolled through loads of dog shit. All the time I was catching a bus to Ipswich with my mum, which we never did, and I got
what's the motte?
Stood in dog shit.
Moat?
It's Mott and Bailey. Mott's the earthwork. You know, the artificial hill, and the Bailey is the bit or is the Mott the round bit? It doesn't matter. But yeah, but it wasn't as bad.
I don't know much about castle building.
Well, I think it's like
on castle building.
I was thinking I would genuinely like to do a history podcast with you, one that's actually done properly, and it wouldn't be Beat Motel. It'd be something else. But I think with your ability to do research, my ability to talk shit, that could be quite entertaining. I don't know if we'd find experts or what, but yeah, I love You're Dead to Me. I've never heard the radio show. I've only ever heard it as a podcast, but absolutely brilliant. Yes. Right.
I think the radio show is just an edited version of the podcast down to like half an hour or something.
Yeah, because the podcast is often an hour, and I'm guessing that isn't how long the radio show is. Nothing on Radio 4 is an hour. Some things feel like they're an hour, like the Archers. Do you know what? I can go 2-3 years without hearing the Archers, listen to it, and within a minute and a half kind of get what's going on.
I can go 2-3 years without listening to the Archers, and I don't notice.
You don't notice. Right, I'm going to play
in the slightest.
Here's your next choice, but. That's like one of those things. The first time you hear it, great. Second time, you're like, wouldn't have minded a bit more space between the first time and the second. Third time, you're like, he's just bought a new piano and he wants to make sure he's getting his money's worth out of every single key.
He is. That's Roger Williams with Autumn Leaves.
I wonder if anyone at home can guess the theme yet. Of your choices. Apparently,
that was a massive hit. That was 1955. Apparently, that went to number one in in Americas.
The Americas. What? This song made Williams so famous that he played Autumn Leaves for 9 consecutive US presidents, from Truman to Bush. Could that be true?
I have to say, of the all 4 versions that I picked, it is by far my least favourite.
Sorry, Mike. Sam, you're covering your mic. I can't hear you. That's better.
Sorry. I have to say, for all the 4 choices I took, it is by far my least favourite. It is saccharine and syrupy and just like it's it leaves that like I've had too much sugar taste in your mouth. Like it's just like there's nothing else apart from sugar in that thing.
It's just a bit brusque. I don't know if it's
American. It's like American Coca-Cola. It's just
Is American Coca-Cola different to British Coca-Cola?
Yeah, because of the sugars.
Oh, high fructose corn syrup, which kills more people than most drugs do. Well, it does. That's not a maybe. Have you ever had like high fructose corn syrup drinks? They're just unbearable.
I'm sure. I've been to America a handful of times, so I'm sure I have.
First time you and I went to America together, we were walking into Arrivals, and you just went, "Prepare not to shit for a week."
Did I?
Yeah. And then I got a croissant sandwich from Burger King, which is a croissant with sausage and cheese in it and egg.
Well, being a young person of European extract and living in Europe as the UK was at the time, I hadn't gone to a big fast food space for I don't know how long up to that point, probably 9 years. And that just broke when we got to America because, what fucking choice do you have at points?
I can remember going to Wendy's. We're on a long drive from Boston to Washington, going to Wendy's. And I can remember the food being quite inedible, just so greasy. And they're square burgers for some reason. So Wendy's is a thing over here now. And there is a story which we've told before about you and I getting chased out by a load of yobs and you didn't even notice. I just thought you were tough. But the Wendy's is here now and the boy wanted to go. So we went and thankfully it's nothing like the American Wendy's. It's actually nice. It's all right. Well, it's fast food, but it's actually fairly decent.
Well, it's interesting. Like the whole point of the fast food. This is going a digression, but the whole point of
we're not going to talk about autumn for the next 15 minutes.
Is they're so replicatable. You know what you're getting, and I have to say, been to one or two McDonald's in the UK since, and some of them are fucking grim.
I tend to think they're pretty consistent. Burger King isn't in the slightest. Emma won't ever eat in a Burger King ever again because we went to one. There's loads in the UK now where like there used to be little chefs and half the building will be a Burger King and the other half will be a Greggs.
Yeah. I mean, there's I have to say, and then Five Guys, which was good when we were back in 2009. Five Guys was pretty good and now it's shit.
Really? Because I think it's brilliant. Can't eat many of the chips. We went to go and see John Grant, and we ended up being a bit hurry. So it's the only time I've only eaten Five Guys maybe 4 times in my whole life, but I didn't know about the chips. I didn't know how salty they are, and I ate the entire portion of chips, which is enough for a family of 6. And I felt so full and so sick that when I got into the venue in Norwich, I scoped out where the bins were. They had like big, like dustbin-sized bins because I thought I am going to be sick. And I wasn't because I pushed it down with 4 or 5 pints. But
he just felt sick and fucking awful for
salt. Just not used to salt. Don't add salt to food. Just not used to it.
Oh, right. I add salt to food. It makes everything taste better. But a doctor said to me once, you'll never add as much salt at home as a restaurant will, or particularly ready-made meals have in them. You'll never do it. But you need salt to live. It's not the devil. It's just you need to be in control of it.
Mm. If you're snorting salt for breakfast, you've got a problem.
Yes.
Right, here's your final...
No, it's your choice.
Oh, it's my choice, isn't it? And it's this one. I might save that till last, actually. I'm going to play this one.
I'll be there when you call, and whenever I fall at your feet, you let your tears rain down on me. Whenever I touch your slow touch.
I was trying to imagine Morrissey singing that for some reason.
Oh, man. There is a connection. There is a connection, actually. So that was Crowded House, and the singer of Crowded House is... the song's called Fall at Your Feet.
Oh, I see. Okay.
It's that bad. You're just like... Your brain was almost like, I'm not going to compute that. Oh, right, go on then. I probably ought to.
Don't do the work for Andrew. Don't do the work for Andrew.
So the singer of Crowded House is Neil Finn. And I saw Neil Finn at the Regent, same place I saw Rocky Horror. And his guitarist was Johnny Marr.
Oh.
Which was cool, because Johnny Marr's cool. So, yeah, obviously I chose that because it's fall at your feet. And fall is what they call autumn in the colonies. Or so I'm led to believe.
Oh, when are they coming back to us?
What, the Americans? I don't... They wouldn't fit. Country would capsize if they all came back.
I remember one of the conclusions to a South Park episode years ago was the British waiting for the fall of America, and they just stationed their fleet off the coast.
I like there's quite often it might be Simpsons even, I can't remember, or Family Guy, and they're talking about the gun laws. No, the argument is they have to have gun laws because it's to stop the King of England taking America back. And it's like, you see, like King Charles going, I'm waiting. Have they still got the guns? It's bizarre. It's actually, as I was saying, I was thinking it's such a stupid impression of America, because it's not all from Britain. You know, in the early days, the when they were choosing a national language, it was going to be German or Danish.
No, we discussed this and we disproved that.
Oh, okay, then never mind. Right, I'm going to move on to your last song, which isn't called called Autumn.
Oh, is it not?
Oh, have you seen Gavin and Stacey? Because you sound exactly like Nessa then.
No.
The falling leaves drift by the window, the autumn leaves of red and gold.
So that wasn't called The Autumn Leaves, but who was it and what's the name of that? What's the name of that song? Why am I so amused by this, you clever bastard?
Well, that's Edith Piaf.
Yep.
The incredible,
which is a type of
French
pastry, I
singer.
believe.
And I can't pronounce French, so I'm going to just go with Les Feuilles Mortes, which means the dead leaves. But the Autumn Leaves was originally written by, I think, a French composer, and Edith Piaf's version, which isn't one of the originals, but she sung it but it's her half English, half French version. But it's the same song. It's the same thing. It is Autumn Leaves. It's just, I think it translates as the dead leaves, and can't Edith Piaf, great, cool.
She was fairly well known.
Really?
Yeah, she was fairly well known. Like, I'm just going to check my sources here. Give me
the sources.
Bear with me. I'll just be a second, Pad, while I check my sources. Okay.
He's checking his sources. He's putting his. No, don't stop! No. He's literally run away, and I don't know what to do. But of course, Edith Piaf is fucking well known. What the fuck?
I got no idea what you're saying.
He's back.
I'm back. So she was really. There's something very particular about her childhood that made her famous. So I'm going to check my sources. First of all, that's Tingly Ted's, which is Ed Sheeran's hot sauce.
Right.
Which is really good, actually. It does tend to de-emulsify a little sometimes. Then we have the classic.
Tabasco.
Come on, focus. Tabasco, yeah. Which won't focus for some reason. Always good. Always a pleasure. Have you ever tried this with tequila? I think I've now got to the stage we've made so many. This is episode 157. I can't remember what I've said on the podcast and what I haven't. But we went to go and see Benefits, who are pretty decent, at the Smokehouse. And they normally play much bigger venues, but there's only two of them. It's like electronica, shouty, kind of very sort of politically charged, very cool. And I went up to speak to the keyboard player, and he went, right. I'm not going to try the accent, but he had a Northumberland accent. And he said, put your hand like that and you'll get a little dent. I really couldn't understand what he was talking about. And then he just went, and he just pulled out this bottle of Tabasco and put a double Tabasco on my hand. And I was like, right.
Snort that.
And it wasn't snort it, fortunately. He then poured a very generous shot of tequila and he said, right, lick the Tabasco, drink the tequila. Really nice. I don't really have any other sauces. I have moisturizing lotion. And if you get particularly thirsty and you're in my office, I have isopropyl alcohol. Which, you probably wouldn't want to drink. Oh, yeah, so
what
the
has
story...
this got to do with Edith Piaf? And how do you not know who she is?
I do know she is. I was trying to do a funny because I've got a story about her her childhood. So long before that song, Piaf, which is a type of pastry, her brand was built on her miraculous childhood, her miraculous healing in her childhood. She was blind for 4 years, and she only regained her sight after a group of prostitutes. Next bit of the story, do you know it?
Was sent to a mysterious island in America where they had to have sex with very important men.
And it cured Edith Piaf's sight. Yeah, no, a bunch of prostitutes pulled their money together and sent her on a religious pilgrimage, apparently.
Wow.
And there is actually lots.
Why was she hanging out with prostitutes?
Oh no, it wasn't her; it was her mother.
Who was hanging out with prostitutes? Or was a prostitute?
No, it was her grandmother.
Who was a prostitute?
No, she was just friends. She was just friends with them. Right.
Is anybody just a friend with a prostitute? Sorry, that's.
Should we skip quickly on from that?
Yeah.
I'll play my last choice, which is...
I've said more offensive things than that, but...
I just don't want to have to cut anything else out.
As if to hide a lonely tree, my life will be forever autumn. 'Cause you're not here. 'Cause you're not here. 'Cause you're not here.
It's like when my child has got a vinyl and he's in control of the speed control. He listens to vinyl.
It's exactly what I was trying to replicate. So that song is from War of the Worlds, and it's a song
by Jeff Lynne.
by Jeff Lynne's War of the Worlds. That song is a collaboration with Justin Hayward, and it's called Forever Autumn, and it's how I seduced my wife.
By playing it at random speeds.
I made her a mixtape of War of the World, played it alternating wrong speeds throughout the entire album.
She went, "Okay, Andrew, have it all."
He's the one for me. Let's make more humans. True story. Absolutely. I can't find that copy because it was on tape.
Well, Andrew is perpetually annoying me, but he did make me a very funny mixtape once, and that just got my knickers off.
I did it for the whole album, the entire album. And my copy, my copy had a scratch on it, and it used to go from the railway station. You had to lift the needle up and moved it. And Graham, this is when we were living in the nurses' flats in Ipswich by the hospital. And Graham bought the album on CD. And when it got to that bit, I leant forward and just hit the back skip button. And he went, "No!" Do you want to hear it again? Because I took far too long to make that in Ableton.
I want to hear the whole album like that. Maybe that'll get my pants off too.
I'll do your mixtape.
As if to hide a lonely tree. My life will be forever autumn. 'Cause you're not here. 'Cause you're not here. 'Cause you're not here.
What I find amazing is that when it goes into that first "You're Not Here" and it goes up, it sounds exactly like ABBA does in my head. And I go,
Maybe that's how they recorded.
I thought it was going to be. I thought up until that point, or when it changed again, I thought, oh, this is actually intentional. This is actually how they've done it. It's like, this is really interesting.
Actually managed to do it in tune as well, just for that little bit where the vocals go up.
But I was like, oh wow, like that's a really crazy piece of production. That's really cool. And then then you go and spoil it all by
saying something stupid like forever.
More.
I think you summed it up. You summed it up so well. I was like 19 at the time that I was doing this stupid nonsense. You summed it up so well, and the first thing you said, that sounds like something my child would do. Like, there's an insight into my mentality. Oh my God, this Tabasco's so old, it's for the Queen instead of the King. I think we've what's the best before date? Come, this is a new low. Oh, May 2026. How can it go off out of date? Because it's matured, isn't it?
Look, it's best before, not necessarily going to poison you afterwards.
I do like the fact a lot of food, or some foods here now, they've got a best before date, but they start putting on the printing on the packaging. Look, just use your common sense.
Yeah.
You know, if it's beyond its best before, but it's all right, then don't sue us if you eat it or something. I think we've probably squeezed as much out of the topic of autumn as we can.
What
so next time,
week?
Influential albums that didn't sell any copies. Yeah, I think that's good. Right, I'm going to knock this on the head before it just pales into insignificance. Do you want to say goodbye?